Friday night in the SEC. It's Friday night in Athens, Georgia. Game 2 of a 3-game set here between two old rivals in front of a packed house at Jack Turner Stadium as Florida and Georgia get set to tangle here on the SEC Network. We welcome you high atop Jack Turner Stadium here in Athens. Caleb, Freddie, Mary Wilson, hey man. Game 2 of this series, Florida winner of 5-3 last night. Clutch hitting by the Gators really propelled them into a 7th-inning win.
It was really a close, competitive game, but ultimately Florida did their job late in the game and was able to win those moments that were the difference in the game.
Big moments go back to the 7th inning last night. It's a 3-3 game when you get to the top of the 7th inning. And Jocelyn Erickson, 0 for 3 coming into that at bat, gets this one over the head of the center fielder, Natalie Ray. The double would score a run, then right behind her, Kendall Grover, the single, the throw. She's out, or is she? Erickson immediately asking for a second opinion, and on replay, she beats the tag into home plate, and the run would score, and Florida plated 2 in the top of the 7th inning to win game 1 of this 3-game set. 5-3. You mentioned moments. Florida, all 5 runs with 2 outs.
Yeah, definitely Florida won those moments. Georgia had those big hits, but not necessarily those small moments where they're moving runners around the base. So that's what we're going to look for them to do tonight in order to try to snag a win in this series.
All 3 of Georgia's runs came off of home run. Both pitchers pitched really well last night. Georgia's going to need another performance like that here this evening as Addison Fisher, the sophomore from Bend, Oregon, will go to the circle. 79 1/3 with a 2.47 ERA.
Fisher has been absolutely on fire recently, throwing some of her best stuff that we've seen all year, which is exactly what you want in this series, in this final SEC series and leading into postseason.
Taylor Shoemaker, Jocelyn Erickson, and Kendall Grover leading things off here in the cleanup spot tonight of Townsend Thomas. 2 for 4 last night with a home run and a single. And the first pitch is a strike. As Shoemaker stands it in. Here's a ground ball to third. To first, and a quick out here for Addison Fisher, getting things started for Georgia.
Addison Fisher using that drop ball that we know and love from her. She's got a little zip behind her pitches, throwing upper 60s, low 70s with that drop ball. She's going to be able to use really strong movement with that drop ball, but she's also got a rise and a good changeup as well.
Jocelyn Erickson in the 2 spot. Hit in the 2 spot last night. Was 0 for 3 before the 3-2. Not only was it 2 outs, Erickson a 3-2 full count when she hit the double to center to break open the 3-3 game.
Talk about clutch right there. That's what you do as a leader on your team. Even when you haven't had your best night, that 0 for 3 night, she can come in, get deep in the count, and do some damage.
3-0 gets in there for a strike, 3-1. Erickson, the senior, batting .409 on the season. Native of Phoenix, Arizona, the 3-1 misses. It's a 1-out walk for Jocelyn Erickson. Defensively for Georgia, Goodwin, Ray, and Gordon line the outfield left to right. Bailey Lindemuth anchors third, Digby and Roos short to second. Gabby Novick. Kendall Grover, the senior from Mooresville, Indiana. Part of that 2-out rally last night we saw there at the top of the broadcast, where her RBI single to the left was able to drive in Jocelyn Erickson, give Florida an extra run lead, and a 5-3 final score. Final weekend of the regular season in the SEC, big one for everybody across the conference. Swung on and missed for strike three, 2 down here in the first. And Fisher, her first strikeout of the evening.
What a beautiful drop ball right here. She's worked that drop throughout this count, but she's able to work that right over the knees, and it's going to drop off really well for that swing and miss. That's a really tough location for a hitter to get their bat on.
One and one to count here to Thomas. Solo home run last night. Gets jammed up there, 1-2. Tatum Stolting is calling our balls and strikes this evening, shifting over from first base last night. Scott Mayer goes to third, and Alex Leap is at first. That one over the glove of Linda Muth. It'll roll into left. Gators with first and second with 2 outs now in the first. Tim Walton looking on there from the third base dugout. 1,200th career win as a head coach last night in that 5-3 win. 7th active coach to reach that milestone. 18th coach in D1 history to get 1,200.
That is super impressive, and obviously he's coached really good teams over the years that have helped him get there, but you know he's really proud of this team.
Talked with him earlier this week, really happy with this group, which obviously 47-7. Gonna be pretty happy with.
Yeah, you gotta be pretty happy, right?
Be pretty happy with that crowd, but just pleased with the way that they take every at-bat, every game, enjoy it like it's your last, because you do never know when the game's going to be finished for you.
Yeah, that's absolutely the mindset that he's tried to kind of grill into this team is we're going to be present in this moment. We're going to enjoy the game as we're playing it today.
A good stop. The underhand won't get it there in time. They'll be loaded with 2 out here in the first. A good stop there by Kirsten Roos just to keep it in the infield, but real tough to try to underhand the first.
Yeah, it was definitely big for her to keep that in the infield. Otherwise, that run is immediately scoring, rounding third. But we'll see it again right here. She gets stopped, that ball stopped, and she kind of gets stuck a little bit. She's got so much momentum going forward that she's kind of falling on her hands and has a hard time getting that ball out of her glove.
The count here to Ava Brown, the designated player, junior from Montgomery, Texas. Nowhere to put her with 2 down. Count now 3-0 to Montgomery, and Addison Fisher's going to have to make a big pitch here.
Yeah, she's not getting that low ball called a strike, so she definitely has to be a little bit more creative.
She will walk in the first run of the game on 4 straight. It is 1-0 Florida here in the first.
Marissa Miller will take a second, come out and calm her pitcher down a little bit. There's absolutely a lot of adrenaline going on right here. There's a big situation. You're at the beginning of the game where there's already additional adrenaline and you haven't quite settled in.
There's a strike to Cassidy McClellan, the right fielder, junior from Lakewood Ranch, Florida. Went in there for a strike. McClellan 0 for 3 last night. 0 for 2, excuse me. She got pinch hit for it in the 6th. There's a slow ground ball. And no play, as that one a very slow roller off the end of the bat with the runner crossing second to third there in Cahalan. Digby had to hold, and it's 2-0 Florida.
Yeah, a series of tough plays right here. We'll see it again, but this one comes off the bat, and it doesn't look too slow in this frame, but it was when you have such speed on the base pass. It's going to be really hard for Digby to try to make that play across the diamond.
This will be the 8th batter of the inning here for Florida. As the junior from Kansas, Madison Walker. Same batting 9 that Florida had last night here this evening. 0 for 3 last night was Walker. A strikeout, a ground out, and a fly ball. Two-0 is in there for a strike, 2-1. Abby Camille waits on deck here with 2 down. There's a high bouncer, ground ball, underhand to second. That'll get the out. But Florida able to play 2 here in the first. 2-0 Gators as we go to the first. It'll be the left-handed junior, Olivia Miller. 5'8" from Orlando, Florida, getting the start for the Gators here this evening. A 1.41 ERA. She is 8-0 on the season. For Georgia, a little bit of mix-up here from what we saw last night. It'll be Roos going to the 1 spot. Goodwin sliding down to 2. Sarah Gordon will bat 3rd this evening. And Roos 2 for 3 last night in the series opener. A 2-run home run for her that came in the 4th inning. Florida had taken the lead 3-1 in the top of the 4th last night. That 2-run homer tied it at 3, and that was where we stayed until the 7th. One and 1 the count to Roos, senior from Wolcotville, Indiana. And this one back up the middle for a base hit. That one will find the wall and die off the padding. The throw to second, not in time. Roos thought about going to 3rd. She'll stay at 2nd. And Georgia, leadoff hitter aboard with a long double.
That is a great way for Roos to respond, for Georgia to respond right here as a leadoff, doing her job. She's able to get inside out on that pitch and take that to right center. And then good heads-up base running as well. She notices that that ball misses its cut and is going to keep them on their toes.
Jaden Goodwin, traditionally the leadoff hitter for Georgia, sliding down to the 2 spot here tonight. Bruce was in the 6 hole yesterday.
Something that's really interesting about this lineup, and really the past 2 days, Tony Baldwin, not someone who takes lineup changes very quickly and is not too irrational with those. But the past 2 days, we've seen big shifts in the lineup.
See Tony Baldwin coming over to talk with Jaden Goodwin, looking to try to make it 4 straight super regionals this season. Of course, met these Gators last year and the super in Gainesville. Florida eliminated Georgia to go to the Women's College World Series. You saw Goodwin's line, a solo home run in the 3rd last night. Gave Georgia a 1-0 lead at the time. She would single again in the 7th. Two comes inside at the knees. 1-2 to Goodwin. Bruce standing at 2nd base. Sarah Gordon waits on deck. That one into the glove, and a good play at first base, and a nice stop at short by Cahalan. That one a rocket off the end of the bat.
Miller doing a good job so far tonight. She's going to be throwing mid to upper 60s. Her go-to pitch is that curveball that she can throw on both sides of the plate, and coming from a lefty, it's something you don't see as much as a hitter, but she's going to be most effective when she's throwing lower in the zone, when she's hitting those spots at the knees, a little bit below the knees as well.
Senior Sarah Gordon, Lexington, South Carolina. Behind here, 0-1. Count evens up on Gordon, 1-1. Three-hitter last night. 0 for 3 night with a pair of strikeouts. Well hit, this one over the head of the left fielder, Thomas. That's going to score one. And stopping at second base is Gordon, and Georgia answers back here in the first, 2-1.
We spoke about Georgia tonight just doing their job, not doing too much, not needing those home runs to win the game tonight, and that's exactly what we saw. Roos did her job to get on base. Gordon's moving her around and scoring her. Gordon's able to take that pitch that's elevated in the zone. A little misread right there by Thomas, I think, as well. But she's able to take advantage, get a double, get a runner on the board.
Georgia has got 2 doubles off of Miller here already in the first, and Goodwin, the one out, was a hard hit ball to short. This game feels a little frantic here already early.
It feels like a 180 almost from last night,
yes,
where you didn't have really a ton of hits until those big bombs. And tonight, we're having some hard hit balls, some free passes very early in the game. We're only in the first inning, and there's been 3 runs scored in this game so far.
Truly was really a pitcher's battle last night, as both Randy Rowling for Georgia, Keegan Rothrock for Florida.
And I don't think the score necessarily reflected that it was a pitcher's battle, but it definitely felt like it.
Both pitchers controlled that game. When something got missed, both offenses took advantage of it.
That's absolutely right.
Count 1 and 2 here to Tyler Ellison, the designated player. Batted second last night. Reached once after getting hit by a pitch in the first. She'll foul this one off her leg down in the cleanup spot here tonight. Fouled away again. That one will hurt.
Yeah, that curveball coming into your hands. A very hard pitch to hit, because you almost feel the need to get defensive.
Yeah. 2-2. Misses, and Ellison has worked the count full. Gabby Novickis, the first baseman, waits on deck here with one away. A really good crowd has made its way into Jack Turner Stadium. A lot of Florida fans representing as well. 3-2 is high. Ellison will walk to first. We talked. Miller's ERA at the top of the broadcast is 141. It's 150 in the SEC play, second lowest in the SEC. The fact that Georgia's been able to hit her like they have here in this first inning, very surprising.
Yeah, it makes me feel like we're not seeing Miller's best stuff tonight. I don't think the ball is spinning quite or moving quite as much as it typically does for her. But that ERA, for anyone who doesn't know, an ERA below 2, especially in conference play, that's already impressive. And for it to be 1.5, super, super impressive. So I definitely don't think we're seeing Miller's best stuff tonight.
When you think about last night, 8 runs combined between the two pitchers, and we really thought the pitchers got the better of the hitters overall last night. We mentioned kind of that frantic feel. I think both teams know a lot is at stake tonight. If you're Florida, you got the opportunity to win a series. You're fighting to lock yourself into the top 4 in the SEC to get a double bye in the SEC tournament next week as you see her ball to strike split. If you're Georgia, you really don't want to have your back against the wall tomorrow to be avoiding getting swept at home. Here's a ground ball. That one's going to get through. Getting waved around is Gordon. Throw is offline. She'll score. Ellison goes to third, and Gabby Novickus delivers in the 5 spot. As she'll drive in the tying run. It's 2-all here in the first.
Novickus doing her job right there, pulling that ball right between third and short. That throw from Thomas, a little off. I think if that throw was on line, that's a really close play at home for Gordon. But she's able to run through no problem, not even have to slide right there.
It'll be an RBI single for Novickus. She'll go to second on the throw. So Georgia's second and third with 1 out. Here's a ground ball play. The throw home is in time. Ellison will be tagged out shy of the plate. And that'll put Marissa Miller at first base on a fielder's choice. They're on the corners with 2 down for Lindemuth.
I think Georgia absolutely wants to be aggressive in that moment and try to get that run right there. You can get that get-ahead run. Good heads-up defense by Comia to see that Ellison was going home.
So I mentioned Florida sent 8 to the plate in the top half of the inning. Georgia has put 7 at the plate now in the bottom of the first. Lindemuth fouls that one away, and we'll talk throughout the night about just the importance of this whole weekend. Tonight in particular for both of these teams in terms of SEC tournament positioning, NCAA tournament positioning. If you're Florida, you're wanting to be a top 8 for sure. If you're Georgia, you're trying to be a top 16 to host a regional, as this one is lifted to right field. McClellan will see it in. Georgia answers back in the bottom half with 2 of its own, 2-2 after 1.
Standings, I think a little bit more for Florida. Having that double bye would be huge going into your first game in the SEC tournament. An extra day of rest.
You would take that.
Especially this late in the season. Everyone's worn down by this time in the season. And recovery is something that Tim Walton has talked about. They take very seriously for their players.
9-1-2 for Tim Walton's Gators here in the second as Gabby Comia. Single and scored last night in the 7th inning. Comia down on strikes.
I think this is the first really deceptive changeup that we've seen from Fisher tonight. It's in the strike zone. It was 59 miles an hour, so it's significant drop in speed.
Already back to the top of the order here. After Florida sent 8 to the plate in the first. Taylor Shoemaker for the second time. A lot of big games across the SEC this weekend. everybody jockeying for those final seeding positions for the SEC tournament next weekend in Lexington, Kentucky.
And any win you can get late in the season is going to be impactful for your seeding, especially when you have a series like we're seeing here this weekend.
That one will just miss. Count full now, 3-2. Florida has only lost one SEC series all season. After Shoemaker behind 0-2 there, going to work a walk here with one out. That'll bring up Jocelyn Erickson. Outside as well. 2-0 here to the catcher. Walked and scored in the first inning. If you go back to that first inning, got Shoemaker to ground out, walked to the second batter. Kind of similar to what she's doing here. Strikeout and then a walk to Shoemaker. And that second spot.
And that was Fisher's third walk of the game. And Georgia staff definitely knows the life of giving up a free pass, but typically not 3 this early in the game.
Yep. Back with a strike here, 3-1. And that one will go outside. Now there'll be first and second with one away. Got quite a bit of action in the Georgia bullpen as friends. Here's a ground ball. That one pops out of the glove of Emily Digby. It's going to be a tough play with the way she was sliding away from first base and the runner going to third, but now they'll be loaded for the second straight inning.
Yeah, with how hard that ball was hit, Digby did a good job. She was able to keep it in the infield, but I don't think you make an out. You get an out on that play.
Here's Townsend Thomas. Singled and scored back in the first. Back-to-back innings with some big moments here for Florida offensively. That one grounded foul.
And we go back to last night, a game where there were not very many base runners. We've had a lot of base runners today and just not even a full inning and a half.
That one up the middle and through for a base hit. That's going to score 1. That will score 2 as the run cut off. And Florida will double up the lead here after being tied at 2. Townsend Thomas drives in a pair. It's 4-2 Florida.
Thomas doing her job, able to move runners around. She takes a pitch, a little bit elevated in the zone. Doesn't have to hit it super hard to get it up the middle. Just well-placed ball to score 2 more for the Florida Gators.
And that's something Tim Walton talked to us about, is he wants everyone to just focus on just do your job. Whatever that particular moment or at-bat requires, do that. If it's hit a home run, if it's just move runners around, if it's get on base, however you got to do it, do your job in that moment and then let the offense behind you. His number 1 goal for every team, get the leadoff runner aboard. Hasn't been able to do that tonight in either inning, but has already scored 4 runs.
Yeah, that talk around just doing your job, not having to do too much, just focusing on what you're supposed to do in that at bat, that's really helpful for not putting too much pressure on each individual person. It really makes it a team effort to get those runs, not necessarily all reliant on Townsend Thomas, for example.
Full count to left, and that one will find the glove of Goodwin. And Cahalan will fly out for the second out of the inning, and this will bring Ava Brown to the plate. The 7th Gator to go to the plate here in the second inning.
With so many batters having come to the plate, you can see in the top left of your screen that Fisher's about to cross that 60 pitch mark, and we're not even through the second inning. So that makes it really difficult for a pitcher to go the full game.
We saw both starters go the distance last night.
Both reached just over 100 pitches in that game.
109 pitches for Rothrock, 131 for Randy Rowling, and she had some pretty lengthy innings at times. See Rothrock there from the dugout, a really good performance. At 6 hits, it doesn't really quite tell the story of how good she really was last night.
No, she kept the offense at bay.
Same for Rowling, 7 innings, 8 hits. The runs were earned. This one back up the middle, that one through. That's going to score 1 run as that one gets away from Ray. Getting waved on around here is Thomas. She'll score as well. And 2 more off the bat of Ava Brown. It is 6-2 Florida.
You mentioned this game earlier that it feels kind of frantic a little bit, and you definitely feel that from Georgia's defense right now. They've got to settle down. They've got to take a breath and start to execute a little bit more on those little things that are going to win the game.
Here's Cassidy McClellan, RBI single in the first. So it'll be a single and an RBI for Brown. She will get to second on an error charged to Natalie Ray. Thomas and Grover will both score. Brown still in scoring position here. Saw on the open the ball that Ray kind of misjudged a little bit last night, as this one is lifted to left. Coming on is Goodwin. She'll make the catch. Back-to-back innings. Florida sends 8 to the plate. 4 more runs here in the second. It's really wanting to be a top 16 national seed, have the opportunity to play at home in the regional round. And RPI at 16 dropped to 16 this week. A really good strength of schedule. They've played some of the best teams in the SEC this season. But really got to take care of business at home this weekend.
Yeah, definitely need to pick up a few wins between this series and the SEC tournament. With that RPI being 16 right now, RPI is one of the top factors in seeding for the NCAA tournament. So if they want a chance at hosting a super regional, they have got to hold on to some wins in the next few games.
Defensive swing from Digby. That'll be taken by Walker at first base. And Digby is retired for the first out. 8-9-1 for the Gators here, or for Georgia, excuse me, here in the second. That'll bring up the 9 hitter, Natalie Ray. Reached on a fielder's choice last night in the 7th. Ray at 397, that average has come down a little bit. She's in a little bit of a slump right now offensively. So much of that is mental. Big hit would certainly go to trying to shake that one off here as we get late in the regular season.
Yeah, and I think in your last season of playing softball, you're reaching the end of the season. Maybe there's a little bit of her pressing on herself to make those plays and to get those hits.
Loops this one to short. Cahalan will see it in for the second out. And top of the order back up now for Georgia and Kirsten Roos. To left, and just shy of the warning track, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Olivia Miller and the Gators. And the fielding error by Georgia defensively plated 2 more runs. You see the numbers here situationally for these two. Florida already 5 for 8 in scoring position, 4 for 6 with 2 outs.
And situational hitting, that is something that Tim Walton has talked about over and over. They practice situational hitting every week in practice, getting those live at-bats in. And it's certainly coming in handy tonight. The Florida Gators have come out hot, ready to swing the bat and do their job.
And a new pitcher for Georgia as Destin Howard has entered the game, the 5'9" senior from Macon. 2.97 ERA. She will be bringing some heat. Eight, 9-1 for the Gators here in the third. And Madison Walker, who reached on a fielder's choice in the first, stands in. She's ahead 2-1. Three and 1 to count. Well hit. This one to center. That one is gone. A leadoff home run for Madison Walker to straightaway dead center. For Walker, that's her 8th of the season, and Florida extends the lead at 7-2.
We talked about passing the bat and stuff, but she said, let me just get a run all by myself. She takes that pitch that's over the heart of the plate, and she's able to rip it well into those outfield stands.
For Walker, her 8th home run of the season, 31st RBI. th extra base hit for the junior, who came into the game hitting .323. Gabby Comia struck out looking in the second. Two and two the count. Comia just gets a piece.
Did a little twirl for us.
Sophomore hitting .348 on the season. Pops this one to center. Ray charges in and will make the catch. And that's the first out of the inning here for Destin Howard and Georgia defensively. And this will be the third time through the lineup already for Florida here in the third. Taylor Shoemaker, 0 for 1. Has walked in, scored, that back in the second. Ground ball to second, and that one out of the glove of Bruce. Kind of looked like it maybe hit the palm of her hand there in the glove, unable to get it in. And Georgia, one of the best teams defensively in the nation this season.
Yeah, we've seen a few miscues from Georgia tonight. As you see that one kind of take a weird bounce maybe at the last minute into the glove.
Second error of the game for Georgia defensively.
Which is not something that Georgia usually sees.
Jocelyn Erickson has walked twice, scored on both trips. Two and one the count here to the Florida catcher. There's a ground ball. Bruce fields it and over to first in time. Shoemaker had to do a little hop there as the ball came through the base path as she traveled to second. She's in scoring position now with two down. And here's Kendall Grover.
That ball was hit to Roos in a very similar spot that previous error was made at. She took a different approach to fielding that ball and making sure she got that fielded cleanly and got the out at first.
Graduate transfer for Georgia, obviously has played a ton of softball. So expect some adjustments there and make that mistake a second time as the 1-0 misses. 2-0 the count here to Grover. Strikeout and a single for her. Destin Howard at 21 pitches here in the inning. And she will walk Grover on fourth straight. Townsend Thomas, who has singled in both plate appearances so far tonight, looking to go 3 for 3. She's got runners at first and second here with 2 away. Gets in there for a strike, 1-1. Two singles, drove in 2 on the second one. 2-1 the count here to the Florida left fielder, and 13 balls to 12 strikes. Her command maybe a little off here today as well.
Yeah, we know that Destin Howard really needs to command the zone to be most effective. She's got a lot of speed, but she really needs to hit her spots. And we're not necessarily seeing that tonight. We're seeing a lot of work around the zone.
3-1 the count. In the dirt, that one gets away. And they'll be loaded once again here. Shoemaker to third. Here's Grover now at second. Townsend Thomas to first, and we are going to have a pitching change here in the third inning as Destin Howard will go back to the dugout, and we'll reset with a pitching change. Destin Howard goes 2/3 of an inning here in the third, 27 pitches. Gave off the leadoff home run to Madison Walker and is responsible for the runners on base. All 3 of them full here with 2 down. And here's Ada Little, the freshman from Georgetown, Kentucky. Big moment for the freshman here. 13 innings in the SEC. You see, she's worked 37 in the third on the season. But when it's been in conference play, still kind of getting her feet wet.
Yeah, this is absolutely a big opportunity for her. There's not much to lose for her right here. I think she can come out and play free and spin the ball like she knows how to spin the ball.
Well, you come in, a lot of pressure here as a freshman, but you're 1 pitch from getting out of this thing. Tense moments here as Harry Dog looks on.
Harry Dog's into it.
He was locked in. Home team down by 5, though, here in the third. So here's Kinley Cahalan. Singled in the first inning and got stranded there, flew out in the second. You see the bases chock full of Gators here. Shoemaker at third, Grover at second, Thomas at first. Inside at the knees, and Little has not found the strike zone yet. What is a cloudy and cool afternoon in Athens. And in there for a strike, 3-1. Not as breezy as it was yesterday, but the more rain came through overnight. That one well hit to Roos to second for the out. And Florida will get one more run out of it here in the third inning. As Madison Walker sends a 3-1 pitch to the outfield stands. 7-2 Florida as we go to the third. Jack Turner Stadium in Athens, Georgia, bottom of the third inning. 7-2 Gators. A Florida win tonight would give Florida the series win. The loss would put Georgia in the position to try to avoid a sweep tomorrow. And the third game of the series. Back up the middle. And Goodwin now 1 for 2 as a leadoff single from the two-hitter. It's 2, 3, and 4 for Georgia here in the third. So prime spot of the lineup to try to get something going.
Now this is exactly where you want to be if you're Georgia in this situation. You're down by 5 runs. You need a little production. You need a little bit of passing the bat. A single here, a double here, throwing a home run, and you're back in this game.
Oh, and 1 here to Gordon. Her season slugging heat map, you see where she likes it. Anything on that inner half of the play, really top to bottom of the zone, she's putting contact to it.
And you even see those red spots where she is red hot outside of the zone, shows how much reach she can get. She can really extend the barrel of her bat
all the way out
in that outer part.
It's impressive. 2-1 gets in there for a strike. 2-2 the count. Tyler Ellison, the designated player, waits on deck. 2-2. Now a little bloop off the inside of the bat. Little bat handle single back up the middle. First and second with nobody out.
I know that one did not feel good, but it certainly did the job right there. Getting that on the handle, getting it up the middle. We'll see it again right here. She's able to finish the swing, which is able to give it enough momentum to get it through that hole right there.
Didn't feel good, but a big smile there at first base.
Yeah, she knows. She knows.
Gordon now 2 for 2. She had the RBI double in the first. And here's Tyler Ellison, who walked in the first inning. Stephanie Van Brekel throw going to come out of the dugout and talk with Olivia Miller here. Tyler Ellison ahead here, 2-0. We've talked about her, a senior, spent all 4 years with this Georgia program. That 2024 number, a little misleading. She only had a handful of at-bats. So you really look at the progression, the home runs, the RBIs. Big jump up here in this senior campaign from where she was last year.
It's absolutely just such a good, steady progression. That 2024 season, she had 26 at-bats. And in the 2025 and 2026 season, she's gotten at-bats in every single game. So to keep such a high average and such good stats throughout that, it really shows her progression from freshman to senior.
Three and 1 to count. Is that one in there for a strike? Gabby Novickus waits on deck. Into foul territory and a good chase there by Walker, but couldn't get to it in time. You mentioned a big crowd. This one is popped up. And Halen will come in from short to make the catch. And that's the first down of the inning. So we mentioned Gabby Novickus up. RBI single back in the first inning. Comes in at the hands, 1-0 the count. And that one did come in on the hands. So that one's going to get her. So now the bases are loaded with one out, and a big moment here for Marissa Miller. Take a look.
That was a little deceptive. Because Erickson caught that cleanly, it didn't look like to the naked eye that had hit her.
Maybe got her on that elbow protector as it
Yeah.
came across.
But she definitely sold it and immediately started taking off her gear. That's exactly what you need to do. And we've got another bases loaded situation here in this game. I don't think either one of us thought that this is how this game was going to go today.
No.
After seeing such a pitcher's duel yesterday with just a few select hits. We've seen so many base runners today.
Miller answers back with a strike. 2-1 the count. Baldwin looks on. That one's pulled foul. And count evens up here on Miller, 2-2. Reached on a fielder's choice back in the first inning. Count will be full. Georgia has left 2 runners here to this point in the game. Coming into the inning, they went down in order in the second. There's a ground ball, third, to home for 1, to first in time, and a massive double play for the Gators defensively to end the third inning. Another look here as we go to break with a bases loaded Grover. How about a little 5-2-3 double play? Florida leads Georgia 7-2, leads the all-time series 50-32. Georgia hasn't won a series in this matchup since 2018. These two, again, met last season in the Super Regional in Gainesville. Florida winning that one 2-1 to advance to Oklahoma City. 83rd meeting, these two have played a lot of games against each other, especially in the postseason.
Yeah, I think that them meeting so many times in the postseason is one of the reasons that this series has so much intensity around it. It feels like a super regional. It has that competitive environment. You have a big crowd here tonight. All the things that you would get in a super regional.
That one eats up Lindemuth at first base, and a great recovery to get back on that thing and get it over to first. That was a hard hit ball.
I'm glad she has a smile on her face because that did not look like it felt good. A really hard hit ball with a bad bounce comes up. Looks like it almost hits her in the chin, but she's able to recover and make that play. The sign of a true athlete. That's some resilience right there.
Squaring to bunt is McClellan, and she'll beat out the throw. That's a bunt single for Cassidy McClellan, the right fielder. Second time she's gotten aboard here this evening.
A well-placed bunt right there, where Lindemuth had to come across Ada Little to get that ball and try to make that play, but McClellan had some speed on her and was able to leg it out.
I was just about to mention Ada Little. Came into the game there in the third with the bases loaded, able to get the ground out fielder's choice to end the inning. So an opportunity to kind of take a deep breath here and start an inning clean. 1 and 2 here to Madison Walker. There's Little. Ground ball. 1 and 2 in a double play. The defense coming through 2 errors here on the day for Georgia defensively. A clean inning here in the fourth. We go to the bottom half. For game 2 here today, Arkansas defeating Texas 2-0 with a phenomenal performance in the circle, and then Alabama winning the opener over South Carolina, and the big story there, securing a top 4 double bye in the SEC tournament next week. Florida trying to do the same here tonight. And it's 7-8-9 for Georgia here in the fourth, and Lindemuth jumping on the first one.
Yeah, despite being down 5 runs right here, Georgia has not let up on trying to get base runners in scoring position, just have not been able to execute actually getting them across the plate.
Georgia's left 4. Just has not been able to take advantage, only being out hit by Florida by 2. Florida has left 7 itself. Florida has taken advantage of Georgia miscues and some timely hitting by the Gators, something we saw last night multiple times. Olivia Miller, 56 pitches here.
You'll see Miller right here taking this deep breath. That's part of her pre-pitch routine. It keeps her calm, keeps her focused, keeps her just ready to attack the batters. And it's not just in a big situation where she's doing that. It's very consistent with each pitch, kind of resetting herself before the next pitch.
3-2 is lined to the Florida bullpen. That'll be a called strike 3 on Emily Digby. That is the first strikeout of the game for Olivia Miller.
That was a really good spot right there in the lower quadrant of the zone. She's able to get that outside corner just barely, just enough to get that strike called.
There's a ground ball. 1, 2, and they're going to say safe at second or first base, excuse me. Fielder's choice there for Natalie Ray, a close play at first base.
And you saw Camilla shaking her hands like, don't challenge that, don't challenge that. She knows that that was not close enough to challenge right there.
Walker quickly with that turn to go to second to get that lead runner. So Ray aboard on the fielder's choice. It's a 3-6 put out of Lindemuth. And top of the order now, third time through for Georgia, and Kirsten Roos. A double and a fly ball for her this evening. Pitches now for Olivia Miller. This one popped back into foul territory.
A little ricochet action, but a catch in the end.
Held on to the drink there too.
That's the important stuff.
Protect that. Can't lose the crispy. Full count here to Roos. And that one, a heck of a play by Cahalan at short to have that one pop up, grab it out of the air, and over to first in time. Good focus on that one for the Florida shortstop. 4 innings are complete. We go to the 5th in the 7-2 game. The greatest show on dirt. The selection show, Sunday, May 10th, 7 Eastern on ESPN2. The 7 innings live selection special to follow that one. There's a ground ball back to the pitcher. It'll be 9-1-2 for
selection show's only next Sunday, but it feels like there is so much softball, so much good competition that's gonna happen in this next week.
9-1-2 for Florida as Gabby Camilla rounds out on the first pitch that she'll see here in the 5th inning. That one will bounce before it gets to Shoemaker.
A little change up that got away from Little.
That one's going to get away from Little, and the new catcher, Sarah Gordon, for Georgia. Gordon moving from right to catcher, Emma Castori, now into the game in right field for Georgia defensively. You see Gordon now behind the plate. It was a 7-pitch 4th inning for Ada Little. Very effective as you see Castori there in right. Struggling with Shoemaker here. Four innings complete, 7 runs on 8 hits, 7 left for Florida. Georgia 2 runs on 6 hits, 2 errors defensively, and Bulldogs have left 5. Just slow roller to third. Moving to her left is Lindemuth fielding and tossing. And that'll get the out at first base. 2 down here for Erickson.
Lindemuth came across Digby in that scenario and got that ball that was kind of a slow roller to Digby. But it was a good move because Lindemuth has that momentum already going towards first. She's able to make that play a bit quicker than Digby would because Digby would have to wait on that ball.
Erickson, a transfer from Oklahoma, has made her mark in the Florida program. Home runs and RBIs, both 5th all-time in Florida record book.
Yeah, she's stepped into this Florida program and has really done a great job, been a leader on the field for this program.
Foul back out of play. 3-1 the count. 2-2, excuse me. Deuce is wild here for Ada Little. applause for a nice catch there in the stands. Little's done a nice job of coming in and kind of settling things down here for Georgia defensively.
Especially as a freshman.
Yep.
It's a huge situation that she came into, really big opportunity, and she's done well with this opportunity so far.
She'll lose her on the 3-2. It's a 2-out walk for Jocelyn Erickson, her 3rd walk of the day. Kendall Grover, she has reached twice. Save a little request of a new ball there. In the dirt, coming up ready to throw is Gordon. As a pitcher, when you get a ball, what are you feeling when you feel something you don't like?
Different pitchers like different things in their ball, whether it's how risen the seams are. I know that was the thing for me. I liked when the seams were risen.
She likes that one as it goes into the glove of Lindemute. 7-2 our score. Bottom of the 5th inning as Florida leading 7-2. Townsend Thomas 2 for 2, 2 runs driven in. She scored twice. Florida 2 for 4 with the bases loaded. Olivia Miller with 4 innings of work. Sarah Gordon 2 for 2. The rest of the team just 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. 3 pitchers already here for Georgia. And we mentioned Olivia Miller, 4 innings of work. On in the 5th now is Ava Brown. The first one inside at the knees, 1-0 the count. 3 saves on the season for Brown. She's 5-0 with a .49 ERA. Two, 3, and 4 for Georgia here in the 5th. Jaden Goodwin to lead things off. That one over the head of the second baseman. And sliding into second is Goodwin. And the speedy left fielder into scoring position with one swing of the bat.
Goodwin loves to jump on one early, and she takes this ball. It's a little elevated on the inner half of the plate. She's going to drive it to right center. And she knows that with her speed, she's going to be able to leg that one out and get into scoring position for Gordon.
0-1 the count here to Gordon. That's a called strike 3 on Gordon. And Brown gets the strikeout here, 1 down.
Beautiful back-to-back strikes right there for Brown. She's able to hit that exact spot 2 times in a row. She knew Gordon didn't want it that first time. She went back there again. If you're Gordon, you have to be a little bit more protective of the plate in that scenario. Misses 1-1. So we mentioned Brown
.49 ERA. This is just the 10th appearance of the season, her first in the SEC. She has not pitched since February 21st. And Tim Walton priding himself on having players that can play multiple positions. You need arms in the postseason. Now's a great time to back in the circle and kind of get another arm ready for the postseason.
Yeah, you gotta be prepared to be deep in your pitching staff. And Ava Brown, obviously an athlete. She can work on all sides of the ball. She hits, she can play defense. But getting her out here and getting her some more innings, especially in the SEC tournament maybe, might suit them well down the road. And if you're Ava Brown, it's hard being a pitcher that also hits, that also, plays defense, because you have to split your time, your practice time. You only have so many hours a week where you're allowed to practice by the NCAA.
A little hesitation there by Goodwin, having to watch where that one was going to go. Misplayed briefly by Shoemaker there in center. So Goodwin at third, Tyler Ellison at first. They're on the corners with one down.
Despite that misplay out in the outfield, Tony Baldwin had that stop sign up. He was not going to send Goodwin on that. He wants to be safe in this situation. There's only one out. You want to keep your runner in scoring position and not risk that second out.
There's Gabby Novickus. This one lightly hit. That one out of the reach of the second baseman, Comia. The throw to third is off the mark. And beating the throw in is Ellison on the corner still for Georgia. And Gabby Novickus with her second RBI single of the night.
Gabby Novickus, a freshman, just doing her job, not doing too much. She's able to take this ball on the outside half. Doesn't barrel it up, just gets it off the end of the bat, but it's in a good spot, a good location to where she's able to leg it out. She's able to get a run across the plate.
Florida is challenging whether the ball hit the runner for interference. The call is under further review.
Okay.
Birmingham. This one.
Scott Mayer getting Birmingham on the phone to take a look at this one. And we will take a look at it as well. Tim Walton successful with his challenge last night, getting the tag out at home overturned. What was the seventh run of the game?
After further review, there is no interference with the advancing runner between first and second. Florida, that is their first challenge.
You hear the crowd, they like that call.
That was a quick review in Birmingham. We didn't even get a chance to take another look at it here. We will now. I think the review was going to be on that throw maybe down at third. But otherwise, no contact on the runner.
Yeah, definitely no contact there.
So here's Emma Castori. Quickly ahead here on the junior 0-2, 302 average on the season. The junior from Buford. Fouled into the net. Georgia able to get a run here in the fifth. right center. That one is going to find the wall. Ellison will score. Novica stops at third, and Emma Castori, her first plate appearance of the day. The double will drive in another run, and Georgia's cut the lead to 3.
Emma Castori taking advantage of an opportunity right here. She gets put in the game later in this game, and she's able to take this ball, go inside out on it, and take it to that oppo G. And it looks like because of it, we might be getting a pitching change.
It's going to be Caitlin Oxley coming out of the dugout for the Gators. Will reset with the change. Emma Castori coming on defensively in the top half of the inning. And then getting of course, your number's going to come up in the lineup, and she delivers with the RBI double. And now the sophomore Caitlin Oxley from Bartow, Florida, is going to go to the circle, a 4.38 ERA. She's worked 48 innings, a much better 3.89 ERA in SEC play. Here's Bailey Lindemuth. Be the first pitcher that Oxley will see. Pitches for Brown. It is 3-0 here to Bailey Lindemuth, who singled her last time up. Georgia crowd starting to get a little momentum going here, feeling like Georgia's kind of clawing its way maybe back into this ball game.
Yeah, Georgia showing some resilience that we know they can. We've seen it throughout the season. They're saying, hey, we're not done yet.
Fouled back, full count.
But in this stadium, you can feel the momentum shift right here. Even though Georgia is still down, you kind of feel the momentum swinging.
Georgia trailed by 5, has scored 2 here in the 5th inning, and it'll be a 3-2 walk. And the first batter that Caitlin Oxley will face, and they're going to be loaded with 1 down. Georgia 0 for 1 tonight with the bases loaded. Florida, 2 hits, driving in 4 of the 7 runs.
Executing right here is going to be, it's going to be one of those moments that Tony Baldwin talks about. You got to win those moments that are going to be key game-changing moments, and this is absolutely one of them. If you score these 3 on the bases right here, it's a tie ball game.
We've seen the Florida defense come up with double plays to get itself out of trouble. There is action in the Florida bullpen. And Tim Walton, I think, is going to have an incredibly short leash here. And it is going to be a pitching change, and it'll be Allison Sparkman, the junior from Canton, Georgia. We will reset with the pitching change. Bases loaded for Georgia here in the 5th. Oxley will throw 6 pitches. And obviously disappointed with the outing for herself there. And she will be responsible for all 3 for the runners here at first base. She's going to have bases loaded. And it's Allison Spartman, the junior from Canton, Georgia, and Sequoia High School.
Wardrobe change.
So a local product from Cherokee County will go to work in the circle, and now finally got the mask we're looking for there.
Yeah, knowing that she came out of the bullpen, someone else was probably grabbing her mask from the dugout and got the wrong one and then got the wrong one again, but finally got there.
And I mentioned 6 pitches. It's going to be 8 pitches for Oxley as the count was 2-0 when the pitching change was made. Here's a 3-1. This one is popped up. Erickson will make the catch in foul territory. That's a big out for Florida, 2 down.
Yeah, and a hard catch to make as a catcher at that angle. I would have expected Walker to call Erickson off on that one. But regardless, Erickson was able to make the catch cleanly for out number 2.
2 down for Natalie Ray. Ground ball up the middle. That's going to score 1. Getting waved on around is Castori. Throw is late, and Georgia now trails by 1.
The Dogs are not done yet. Natalie Ray coming in clutch, doing her job, able to take that ball in the outer half and just get enough of it to send it up the middle. Scoring 2 runs in the process. Just in this inning, Georgia's done a really good job of chipping away at the runs and getting back in this ball game.
Georgia has sent all 9 to the plate here in the 5th inning. Florida has used 3 pitchers. That one to right, getting the stop sign late. And holding at third base is Bailey Lindemuth. And Roos delivers a single. They're loaded once again.
Earlier in this game, Georgia had not executed with runners in scoring position, nor with the bases loaded, and here they have done that, just that, and been able to chip away at the Gator lead.
Goodwin doubled earlier this inning and singled in the 3rd. Outside 2-0. George Crowd never really got out of it, but they are making a lot of noise now. We have a tie game in Athens. Allison Spartman walks in the tying run. It is 7-7 with the bases still loaded. And Sarah Gordon coming up. A familiar face in the Florida bullpen, Keegan Rothrock. And Tim Walton, this will be pitcher number 4 in the inning for the Gators, and here comes Rothrock. We'll reset as yesterday's starter will make another appearance here this weekend in a 7-7. 5 runs here in the bottom half of the inning has tied the game at 7, and we're about to see a familiar face from yesterday as Keegan Rothrock, a junior from Whiteland, Indiana, back into the circle. Got the start yesterday and went the distance. 109 pitches yesterday in a 7-inning, 6-hit performance. She really stymied this Georgia offense for the most part yesterday. Comes in now experienced, obviously, but inherits bases loaded with 2 away. You're 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. You really need that experienced leader right here.
Yeah, she certainly had a phenomenal game yesterday. And you know that Tim Walton did not want to use her today, knowing that she's going to be in tomorrow. But you talked about being a veteran. You see another familiar Gator face right there, Kelly Barnhill. That is a photo from when Kelly Barnhill was playing and Rothrock was just a teen. And now you see the reverse from yesterday's game where Barnhill made a little stop. And she lives in Athens, actually.
Yep.
But she made a little stop at Jack Turner Stadium. What a cool experience to get to.
One Gator legend to
another yeah.
One. So the base is loaded, 2 outs. Georgia has batted around here in the 5th inning. And here's Sarah Gordon. Gordon went 0 for 3 against Rothrock yesterday. This is the 4th pitcher that Florida has used here in the 5th inning. Gordon chases that one 71 miles an hour. Now it evens up 1-1. Fouled out of play.
Rothrock is coming in here. Obviously, she's got a little bit more speed than Georgia has seen today, but she's also got a different pitch look. She's throwing that rise ball. We've seen a lot of curve and screwball action from the Florida Gators today, but not as much of that rise ball.
Back out of play once again. Really hit well off left-handed pitching this season, right-handed Rothrock. Is ahead here 1-2. Here's a ground ball up the middle. Georgia will take the lead. 2 runs will score as a little misplay in center by Shoemaker. And Georgia down 5 runs has scored 7 in the 5th inning and leads 9-7.
Talk about coming in clutch, being resilient. Sarah Gordon takes this ball on the outer half of the plate and she's able to get around it enough, send it up the middle, and then you have a misplay by Shoemaker in center, allowing Georgia to score another run.
Goodwin goes first to third on this trip. Gordon is at second. This one to left into a little bit of trouble. Going back is Cahalan. She'll make the catch, and that'll get Florida out of the inning. Georgia played 7 to take a 9-7 lead. You certainly wonder how much fight Georgia had in it there, but Tony Baldwin's Bulldogs were not finished.
No, they were not done. Showed a lot of, what an inning, first of all. Crazy inning. Bulldogs showed a lot of resilience. Yeah, 4 pitchers, which got to be some sort of record. You just don't see that.
Of pitchers that have thrown innings at all this season for Florida, all of them have made an appearance in the game today, with the exception of Leah Stevens. Four, 5, and 6 for the Gators here in the 6th inning. To this point, you tip your cap to Ada Little, who has really came in here freshman and settled things down for Georgia.
Yeah, she's been in command from her first full inning, really. She's been in command, able to move the ball around the zone.
Townsend Thomas with a pair of singles today. She's driven in 2. And that's the crazy thing. You're down 5 runs. And in one half of an inning, you go from being down 5 to, if you want to think of it this way, you're just now 6 outs away from getting a win.
Yeah, it definitely is a momentum shift.
Well hit. This one to center. Ray will track it in for the first down of the inning. Kind of rare. We've got an error charged for both center fielders here tonight. Not particularly often. You say that we have 3 combined. I mean, it's been as the score would indicate, it's been a different game.
Yeah, it's been definitely an interesting game. Not usual for either of these teams, but both of these teams have such good defense.
Yeah.
On your typical day, that errors in general are not, or miscues are not common.
Here's Kinley Cahalan. Single, a fly ball out, and a fielder's choice for the shortstop today. Got a really impressive out earlier in the game. Coming back in the 4th inning. Got it in her glove. It popped out of her glove, grabbed it midair. And throwing it to first for the inning ending out.
4th inning feels like a lifetime ago. Three and 0
the count. Halen will walk on 4 straight. Natives a little restless. Tatum Stolting's strike zone there.
Yeah, crowd definitely not liking strike zone. Maybe feels like it's tightened up a little bit late in this game.
Ava Brown, who has got a RBI walk back in the 1st inning, and a single. Good stop there by Gordon. Hall, strike 3. As Little sends it in, Brown watches it go. And I think we're going to have a pinch hitter here.
Beautiful curve ball right there. Has a little down action. Definitely on the outer part of that zone.
Wesolowski. Wesolowski, a junior from Williamsville, New York. .284 hitter on the season. 5 home runs, 31 hits. She's driven in 20. Ground ball to first. Bottom of the 6th. Now leading 9-2. And in the 5th inning, 7 runs on 7 hits. 2 for 3 with bases loaded.
Very impressive inning from the Bulldogs. They showed a lot of fight in that inning to get back into this ball game, and to get a lead in this ball game would be a huge win for Georgia.
And we mentioned Florida had used 5 of its 6 pitchers. The 6th now on the field for Tim Walton. And Leah Stevens, a 5'7" freshman from Palm Coast.
It is not often that you see a game where every pitcher is used, but that's exactly what we've seen, most of them just in this last inning.
2-1 the count here to Gabby Novickus. 2 RBI singles for her today. She scored on one of them. Count full now, 3-2. Hello, Wesolowski, who pinch hit here in the top half of the inning, now in defensively in right field for Florida. Ground ball, that one underneath the glove of Cahalan. Leadoff single for Gabby Novickus. She is 3 for 3 today. And pinch runner going to come out and spell her. And that will be Natalie Donaldson. Saw Donaldson pinch run last night in the 6th inning. Here's Emma Castori once again. Count here to Castori. You can tell Cooper and Tucker good night. I'm a little late. It's past bedtime, but it is a Friday night. Mom might be nice to him and let him stay up a little later tonight. Depends on how they've behaved. Castori fouling that one back into the net. Well hit, that one to left field and into the glove of Thomas. She tracked that one beautifully all the way to the wall. The throw back to first is not in time as Donaldson will slide back in safely. Boy, that one looked like it had a chance to get out of here, and a heck of a play by Townsend Thomas to track that one all the way in.
What a shot right there. And great job by Thomas to get that ball in. You see these players on the field, they want a challenge right here. No, actually, Donaldson was just called out.
Yeah, she was just called out.
So she never touched that. She rounded second and did not touch second again when she was trying to get back to first. And so when she was tagged at first, took a second, but they called her out.
Bailey Lindemuth will pop out. That's going to be a quick end to the inning. We go to the top of the seventh with Georgia leading by 2. The pinch runner, take a look here. She leaves first base. And a great catch, but watch when she comes back across second.
Yeah, she neglects to tag second again on her way back. She's got to retrace those steps. And if she had, she would be safe there because that throw got past the first baseman right there.
You saw Tim Walton letting the umpire know she didn't touch second. But as a freshman, like you mentioned, we were talking here a moment ago, she won't do that again.
No, that is a lesson you learn, and you never make that mistake again.
Natalie Ray to right field for Georgia. And it's Delaney Sullivan in center. 8, 9, and 1 is the Georgia center fielder on your screen. Side 1 and 2.
We mentioned it last inning, but Ada Little, as a freshman, has done a really good job keeping this Gator offense at bay in these last few innings.
She's been impressive in relief. To right field, and the tying run will come to the plate with nobody out. Fifty pitches now for Little, and we're going to have a pinch hitter here for Florida. Desiderio. 0 for 3, 9 for Camilla. That one goes in the dirt, 1-0. Before we get out of here, definitely going to shout our crew out. Done a phenomenal job for us all season here on the SEC Network. Rachel Dimitri and our low third camera tonight. Austin Simmons up top here at home plate with us. Brian Gierock over at first. That one is pulled foul. Clay Malloy bringing you the view from behind the pitcher out in center field. Johnny Doherty, our low first this afternoon. Our technical director was supposed to be Amelia Kennedy, out sick today. Our director, Beth Ann Niblett, doing double duty, directing and technical directing. But she's a mom, so she can handle
She knows how to
multiple
multitask.
things at one time. Eric Dunn assisting there as well, the 1-1. 2-1 the count. Sarah Tracy on video, Sam Walters on graphics. Georgia Bozart on bug. Van Johnson on replay, assisted by Madison McKinley. Bouncer just fouled. And Blake Hines with duct tape and rubber bands keeping us all together. We mentioned Sarah Tracy on video, graduated right around the corner.
Exciting time.
Very exciting time. 2-2. Jammed up there, and the count will go full. Good battle here between Desiderio and Ada Little. So what's at stake here? Georgia to even the series with a win, set up a rubber match at 12 Eastern tomorrow. Meanwhile, Florida would love to put itself in the position to get a sweep on the road. Those are so hard to get in the SEC.
Especially when you have a rivalry game like this one.
Senior weekend, a lot of emotions. This thing is sent to left field. That ball is gone. We are tied in the 7th. A pinch hit home run for Julia Desiderio. What a swing of the at-bat for her.
You see how excited the Gators are. That pitch, she's seen that low and inside pitch several times this at-bat and is able to adjust and take this one absolutely yard.
Home run number 1 of the season for her.
That's a memorable one.
And we will pause with a pitching change as Randy Rolling has emerged from the Georgia dugout. 9-9 in the 7th. The Florida dugout ecstatic after the pinch hit home run, a 2-run shot for Julia Desiderio. Her first of the season, RBIs 2 and 3 on the 2-run home run. And here's Randy Rolling, who went the distance yesterday. 131 pitches for Rolling. And now getting called on here, 4th pitcher of the contest for Georgia. Florida has only gotten the leadoff hitter aboard twice today. But it was a home run and a single that turned into an RBI in both opportunities. Taylor Shoemaker now top of the order. This is the 5th time through for the Gators. She's reached twice. Reached on a walk that she scored on in the 2nd inning, got on via error in the 3rd. This one lifted to left field. Goodwin watches it in. That'll be the first out of the inning. A little frustration there from Shoemakers. You see her pop the helmet down. Just missed maybe on a home run right there to give Florida the lead. Jocelyn Erickson, 0 for 1, but has walked 3 times and scored twice.
Yeah, she's definitely had quality at bats today.
One and one the count here to her. "14 hits for Georgia and 10 for Florida." The scoreboard is littered with numerals out there in right center field. Just misses to the Florida catcher, 3-1. Strike 2. Up foul. And will get out of play. A couple of folks making a play for it there. To left. Goodwin comes on and makes the catch, 2 down.
Rowling coming in and doing her job to get a couple of outs right here in a really big situation.
Grover. Takes a strike, 0-1. Done a little bit of everything here tonight. Struck out, singled, and scored. She's walked. One and one to the third baseman. Fouled back into the stands. Come away with a souvenir there. Well, 1-2. Hit her on the arm, and Grover will be aboard with 2 out. Oh, that
They
must have.
called it foul ball.
Wow. I thought that got her.
Might have been off the knob. Couldn't quite tell.
Be a big opportunity there. So 1-2 again. Big opportunity is Rolling able to come back and get the strikeout. She is fired up. So after Florida rallies to tie things here in the 7th, Randy Rolling calms things down, and it'll give Georgia a shot to try to walk it off in the bottom half. It is 9-9 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. In game 2 of this 3-game set here in Athens, Florida led 7-2 after the 3rd inning. A 7-run 5th inning for Georgia gave the Dogs a 9-7 lead. And then Julia Desiderio, a pinch hit, game-tying 2-run shot in the top half of this inning, has knotted things up at 9, the first of the season, 4th of her career. And now our starting pitcher, Olivia Miller, who came out of the game after 4, is back into the contest now for Florida.
As a pitcher, this is a hard situation to be in. She came out of the game, cooled down. She had to re-warm up now to go enter this ball game again. It can take a toll on your body.
I was going to ask, is that challenging?
It is. It's almost like a weather delay. That's challenging in its own. Where you sit, you get maybe a little tight. You have to just re-loosen up. The same stuff might not be working as it was earlier.
Two and one to count. Rocket off the end of the bat, foul there for Digby. It is 8-9 and 1. Fouled away once again. Gabby Camillo got pinch hit for there in the top half of the inning, back out defensively at second base. Ground ball. A nice job there by Grover. That thing wanted to come out of the end of the glove, able to squeeze enough to keep it in. And that's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, she kind of snow-coned that ball a little bit. Was able to keep a grip on it.
Natalie Ray, who had the 2-run single back in the 5th inning. Takes a big cut at that one there, behind now 1-2. Watches that one in. Count even now, 2-2. To left field and bobbled and dropped by Thomas. Was a line shot to left that she had to hustle to, got there in time and just couldn't get it in the glove.
Yeah, you know Georgia is going to want to take advantage of this error right here. We'll see Thomas coming over. Has to drop her glove. It almost looks like she like half-step overstepped it to where that ball is hitting in the palm rather in her mitt.
Kirsten Roos, the 5th time through for Georgia here in the 7th. A double and a single has scored on both of those. Now you're top of the order for Georgia. High 3-0. Bruce homered yesterday. There's a 2-run shot back in the 4th inning. And a 3-0 count here for her in the bottom of the 7th. Productive day for her yesterday where she went 2 for 3 with a single back in the 2nd. Then you go back to the 4th yesterday after a walk by Miller. She cleaned him off with the 2-run shot, which at the time tied the game for Georgia. We stayed tied all the way into the top of the 7th. And Florida was able to play 2 and took game 1 7-5. Here's a slow, and that was a foul ball, and Bruce came up with the tougher end of that one.
At the same time, I feel like she wants that to be foul. You don't want that to be, you know, her at bat in this moment. Bruce is someone that can shake it off and keep on going like nothing happened.
That one to right field and dropped by the right fielder. The throw in, not in time. They're at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out.
Another uncommon miscue that we've seen in this game. We'll see it again right here. Wesolowski lets that ball drop in front of her, but then can't field it cleanly. And Ray is able to get an extra base because of that.
Yeah.
1 base closer to winning this game for the Georgia Bulldogs.
And again, Natalie Ray reached in the first place on an error. Charge to the left fielder, Thomas. That one back up the middle. That went through. Georgia will walk it off. Down 5 runs. 7 runs in the 5th inning. Florida tied it in the top of the 7th, and Georgia walks it off with the RBI single from Jaden Goodwin.
How about some fight from the Georgia Bulldogs tonight? Down early in this ball game after a tough loss last night against the Florida Gators, and they were able to just show such resilience, kept on chipping away at the score, passing the bat, doing those things that Tony Baldwin preaches about.
So go back here in the bottom of the 7th. Ray reached on an error, then Roos with a double, and then Jaden Goodwin comes up. A hot shot back up the middle that neither the pitcher or Comia at 2nd could make a play on, and Natalie Ray, again, reaching on an error, but the bobble in right field on Roos's double that let her go 1st to 3rd is the difference.
Yeah, if that bobble didn't happen, she would be at second. We would still be playing this ball game right now. So it just shows you how key making the plays are in big situations like that, doing the little things right. Tonight, Georgia did that.
It is a 7-inning, 21 out